Students, hope all of you are fine, right? I'm here with the chapter 5 poem. The name of the poem is Where Do All the Teachers Go? You can understand hearing the question, where do all the teachers go? Obviously, question arises from students or a student. So, we'll come to know all about what are the questions arise into the poet. Where do all the teachers go? First, I'm going to read out the poem, then I'll explain, right? Where do all the teachers go? Then it's 4 o'clock. Do they live in houses? And do they wash their socks? Do they wear pajamas? And do they watch TV? And do they pick their noses? The same as you and me? Do the same as you and me? So the question, what are the questions? Through this poem, through these lines, you can understand what is being asked. Where do all the teachers go? Then it's 4 o'clock. Students, they go home after the school. At 4 o'clock, students, they go home. They remove their uniform, shoes, keep socks for washing, and get ready for taking food. So this way the questions are coming into the mind of the poet. What might be the work of teachers? What they do after the school? Do they do the same thing as students they do after returning home? Do they do the same work as others do at home? So many questions are there. So many questions are coming into them. So they go home after the school. Do they go home after the school? Or they stayed back at school? Questions are there. Do they watch TV like others? Do they pick their noses like others? The same as you and me. What teachers do after the school? Questions are there. What do they do? Do they live with other people? Have they moms and dads? And were they ever children? And were they ever bad? Did they ever never spell right? Did they ever make mistakes? Were they punished in the corner? Were they punished in the corner like others? If they pinched the chocolate flakes, if they pinched the chocolate flakes, so many questions are coming into him. What teachers do after the school? That is the main question. And covering this question, so many answers are coming. So many questions are coming. What do they do when they come back to school, come back from the school to home? Do they cook? Do they watch TV? Do they mistakes like others? Do they mistake? Do they mistakes? Do they have mistakes? Do they make mistakes like students? Were they punished like students? Were they punished? If students they did mistake or they do mistakes, they get punishment. Do teachers also get punishment? So many questions are there. And where they were children, we are children, where they were children, what they were doing when they were children, were they like us, were they like students like us, or they were different from us? So many questions were there, right? Do they have mother, father? Do they have moms and dads? Do they have mother, father? Do they live with other people like we live? We live with uncle, auntie, grandparents, children, father, mother. Do they live with others? Do they spell wrong? So many questions are there, okay? So this is all about a child. Here the narrator, he is having so many questions, and the teachers seem to be very perfect. The child thinks that perhaps these teachers never lost their books as he does, or wore unclean clothes like some children. He intends, or she intends, to follow one of his teachers. He or she, maybe. Here the poet, he intends to follow one of his teachers someday when the teachers go home and find out the truth. He will then write it in other children in the class, in a poem which the teachers can read out to other children in the class. He wanted to be a follower of a teacher who is always well dressed, never did mistakes, or always doing good thing or truthful. He wants to follow him or her, and he wants to write a poem which the teachers can read out to other children in the class. He wants to write a poem on that particular teacher or about teachers. When a teacher is ready to read out that poem in front of other students. So this is all about a teacher's questions arised into the boy. He wanted to know all about, after the school, what do the teachers do? This much only for today. Hope you understood. Thank you. Bye. Take care.